G'day guys, it's Malcolm here from Willing Computers again. Just got another shortish video today. I've been out and bought a used graphics card. I'm just going to show you how I go about cleaning them up, making sure they're in good condition, putting new graphic throttle, what do you call it? Putting new compound on it. And yeah, showing you what's involved in that. So this is the card that I got. It is a, can't remember. It's a Radeon R9 280. 280 Dual X. So I picked it up for $130. I've got a client that's looking at getting a cheap gaming PC for their son. He wants to run Fortnite on it. And I do have some GeForce 720 graphics cards here that will run Fortnite, but if the young fella decides that he wants to play something else, then they really won't cut the mustard. So I thought for the price that it cost me for this, I'd be better off putting this into the system for this lady. And yeah, so the first step that I have is to pull it apart, clean it up, make sure it's got good thermal paste on it. And here we are. Generally I do a fair bit of work off this old mouse pad. Find it's good size for micro ATX boards, mini ITX boards, graphics cards, that sort of thing. Keeps them off the plastic bench, stops them from scratching the bench up, and stops any short circuits in the back of the circuitry. So first of all, let's have a look at pulling this cooler off. So we turn it over and you'll see there's 4 screws on the back there that hold the cooler to the chip. So I'll undo those. I've got a little magnetic mat that I put my screws and stuff on. So it looks like I've got to undo the cover plate. So I'll just get my hex head piece. Now I always try to put my pieces back where they came from. Look after your tools. These aren't real expensive tools, but if I have to keep buying them, then eventually it will get expensive. So it's just a good idea, especially with small bits like these. If you put them back in their rack when you go to the next piece, then you always know where they are. Excuse me. So that's the slot cover. thermal paste. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we've now got the cooler off here, you can see. I'm going to put my light back up into filming position. There we go. Alright, so now there's just a few small screws in this to get out. Just like that. The shroud should come away now. There's the cooler. You can see there's a bit of dirt and dust and stuff in it. It's the shroud. Now I believe I should be able to take the fans out. There's one fan. And there's the other fan. See, they're a bit dusty and dirty. There's the shroud. And here's the card. Now we just do a quick inspection to make sure there's no visible damage at all to the card, which there doesn't appear to be. All looks fairly good. There's another little heat sink here, which I've got off, and I'll clean that up and put some more thermal paste on it. There's another one here. It's just got a thermal pad, so it'll be okay. And that's about it. So now I need to clean the thermal paste off the chip. Okay. So now what I'll do is I actually give these a bit of a spray. I'll give it a bit of a spray with some brake cleaner. Now brake cleaner to a certain degree is pretty much the same as electrical contact cleaner. Sort of strips the dirt and everything away and then evaporates, because you don't want any sort of lining or anything left on your brake systems. So, and brake cleaner is generally a bit cheaper than electrical contact cleaner, so that's what I use. And we'll just move this camera up a little bit, and I'll grab the brake cleaner and I'll move out, and we can clean this off a bit. Get rid of any dust and dirt that's on it. Into the contacts. Give it a bit of a shake. Get all the brake cleaner out. Just set that aside to dry for a little bit. And I'll do the same with this heatsink. Blow all the dust and dirt out of it. Now give it a bit of a wipe just to get any excess that may be sitting on it. And I'll hit the thermal paste on the back. Takes the majority of that off. So just give it a wipe over, shake all the fluid out of it that's left in there. Sit that to the side to dry off a bit. Now I'm going to grab each of these fans and give them a good clean up. Now your fans, not only is it more hygienic to clean them, but also it reduces the noise that they put out. Once they start getting dust and dirt on them, they get a little bit noisy. So give them a good wipe over, cleaning off the dust and dirt. Makes them work more efficiently and with less noise. So that one's pretty good. This one's the dirtiest one, so we'll give it a good wiping out. All right. We'll grab the shroud, give it a bit of a wipe over, get rid of any excess dust, dirt from on the shroud. Now the next thing that I use is a water dispersant spray. Many of you would know of WD-40. This is just the cheaper version of it, basically. And I just give it all a light dusting. Makes it look new. Gets rid of any moisture that might be left from the earlier cleaning. So I'll spray the shroud, and I'll also spray the PCB with this. To a certain extent, I try not to get it on the chip. And there we go. I'm going to get another rag. Clean up this little heatsink. just like that. Just make sure this one hasn't got any dust or anything in it. Looks pretty clean. And the heat pad on the back looks pretty good. Turn this back over. And where that smaller heatsink was, there's actually a heat pad on there. So I'll just give that a bit of a clean up. So that's pretty good. It's just the same thermal paste I use on CPUs. That'll be heaps. All right. New thermal paste. Now we're going to put the shroud back onto the cooler. Alright, so that's back on. Got to put the small heat sinks back onto the PCB. Alright, so that's on. So this goes through here. And there we are. They're reattached. Now we flip this over and plug the cable in. just like that. Okay, so the cooler's back on the card, and I'm about to put the cover back on, front cover. So once again, I've got to change the bit that's on my screwdriver. So I'll take it out, put in its rail, grab the other piece that I need. Put the screw in. So here we are. And that fell out. Yeah. Got it. And now you note that most of the time when I'm putting screws in, I generally go in a crisscross pattern. Just helps pull things down straight, flat. Particularly when you're doing up heat sinks. You want them to pull down fairly straight. But it's just a good habit to get into. And there's one more screw. Now this one I can't reach with the magnetic screwdriver. So I've got to try and get it into there, just like that. And it's going in. Okay. Yep, there we go. All right. So that's about it. Just give it a bit of a wipe off. Get any finger marks and other bits off it. So that's basically a refurb GPU. I know it works. I pulled it apart, new thermal paste, gotten all the dust out of the heat sink, cleaned up the fans, put it all back together. The last thing to do is to put it in a case and make sure that it still works. But that's going to be another video, because I have a client wants a cheap gaming PC for their son, and this will be going into it. So I hope you've enjoyed that video. That's a basic rundown of how to refurbish a graphics card, as long as you know that it works. And really, most of them are pretty much all the same. few screws, a few clips, they come apart. Sometimes, as you saw with that one, the thermal paste was holding the cooler to the chip. And I don't like to pull and tug on them too much in case something breaks. But eventually you get to a point where the only thing that's holding it is the thermal paste. So then you find generally a twist. If you twist them apart, then they'll come apart. So anyway, I'm Malcolm Fogarty for Willing Computers, and I hope you've enjoyed this content. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so that you get the notifications when a new video comes up. If there's anything you'd like to talk about with this video, anything you'd like to discuss or ask, please leave comments below. Okay, thank you. Bye.